Two teams now with very different objectives. Oxford have been eyeing the title, or more recently the playoffs at the very least. Oxford are forced into making 6 changes from the team beaten 1-0 by Woking last Tuesday. Goalkeeper Billy Turley, who played more than 250 games for Rushden, is the latest casualty, having struggled for weeks with a calf injury. Chris Tardif starts a conference game for the first time this season. There's a debut as well for Greg Coombs on loan from Cardiff City, and a first start for 18-year-old Andrew Gunn. Jim Smith can at least call again on Eddie Anaclet and Rufus Brevitt, while Andy Burgess, like Quinn and Duffy, is another of the former Rushden contingent, and he's back after illness.
Well, Oxford manager Jim Smith will be looking to improve going forward, and a change in formation to 3-5-2. 3 solid defenders with Anaclet and Brevitt pushing forward in wide areas. Burgess will always attack from midfield and support top scorer Duffy.
Rushden Diamonds have developed a new look since Graham Wesley, the former Stevenage manager, took over before Christmas. They're deprived here of skipper Chris Hope, who suffered a family bereavement this morning, so Paul Watson gets a recall. There's one other change to the team that defeated Cambridge United 3-1 last week. David Perpetuini is preferred in midfield to Marcus Kelly. Ashton, Hatswell and Cook all played for Oxford at one stage or another. So too Dave Savage, who's listed among the substitutes.
Well, a different style of play for Graham Wesley's Rushden and Diamonds. A solid 4-4-2 with containment mostly in mind. 2 banks of 4 that will get the ball forward as quickly as possible to big front man Beardsley. Support will come from wide areas with a pacey Jackson trying to pick up the pieces in and around Beardsley.
Oxford's relegation from the Football League, along with Rushden at the end of last season, was tough on the new chairman Nick Merry and his manager Jim Smith, who saw their hopes of survival ended on the very last day with defeat here by Leyton Orient. This time around there could be more last day drama, with Oxford, for so long the leaders of the conference, now 9 points behind Dagenham and Redbridge. Can they be caught, or will Oxford be forced to go through the agonies of the playoffs? A run of 8 games without a win in the conference is not helped by an extensive injury list, but Oxford do have a terrific following, and Jim Smith, a manager who has few equals in terms of expertise or experience. Can Oxford overcome their crisis of confidence? Can Rushden and Diamonds shine again? It's the Nationwide Conference, the first half live next.
Good atmosphere building up here at the Kassam Stadium. Then the home side know they need to win. They need to win twice this week. Cambridge to come on Saturday, Rushden and Diamonds this evening. The gap is 9 points with Dagenham and Redbridge. Just the top side goes up automatically. Can they claw some of that deficit back here this evening? Rushden and Diamonds, of course, need the points for a very different reason. Just about ready for action. Let's rejoin Clive Walker and Tony Jones.
Well, Rushden are unbeaten in the last 6 meetings, home and away. Oxford did the double in 2003. Andrew Gunn there, at the age of 18, is making his full debut for Oxford United this evening. They've got huge injury problems at the moment. They've brought in Greg Coombs, an 18-year-old who's not yet featured in the first team at Cardiff City, been a regular in the reserves this season, but he has got his big chance to shine now in the conference. Andy Hendley is our referee this evening. He was last in charge of an Oxford game back in October, and they drew 1-1 with Altrincham. Something of an old boys reunion for many, this. There's been so much transfer traffic between the two clubs in recent times. What a start that could have been for Rushden so early on in the game. Simeon Jackson, who's got 10 goals in the conference already this season.
That's amazing they let the ball travel that far. I'm sure Chris Tardif really should have come for this ball into the box, but it's not been headed well. You'd have to say, Simeon Jackson, what a chance to put his side 1-0 up in the first minute.
Simeon Jackson, a Canadian under-20 international. A marvellous start to the season. with successive hat-tricks in games against Altrincham and Tamworth back in September. Just 19 years of age. It's a striker who both Manchester City and Manchester United have had a look at.
I think sorry, Tony, I think what was amazing was the goalkeeper, Tardif, didn't come for the ball initially. And he's just obviously in the side today for the first time, and I think he's maybe a little bit of nerves there. I think his defenders would have expected a call.
Charlie has been carrying a calf injury, and Chris Tardif as well has had a thigh problem. Tardif now in his third season with Oxford United. He is now transfer listed because he hasn't had any opportunities so far this season. He came off the bench in one conference fixture.
I think as well from Oxford's point of view, you know, they've not scored goals, Tony, and I think a lot of emphasis will be on Anaclet and Rufus Brevitt, even at his age. You know, he's been around the block. Rufus always been a left-back solid. Can he play that wing-back position and supply the bombs really going forward? So they need goals. It's something that they've been a little bit starved of recent weeks. And Rob Duffy and Chris Grevis will be expected, but it's Rufus Brevitt you feel he's got to get forward, further forward perhaps than he's done a lot of times in his career.
Rufus Brevitt, who's now aged 37, he was brought in back in September because there was a problem for Gavin Johnson, who missed much of September and October with a hamstring injury.
Well, the thing about him is he knows the game inside and out, doesn't he, Rufus Brevitt? But he doesn't want to sit in as a left back. He doesn't want to sit in and defend. We know Anaclet will get forward on the right-hand side. He's very, very quick, the right wing back. And can Rufus Brevitt match him on this left-hand side to balance the side out?
Oxford suffering something of a crisis of confidence just at the moment. 8 games in the conference without a win. They've also gone out of the FA Trophy as well. They were beaten in a replay by Halifax Town. Rushden still involved. They have new opponents next weekend.
A clumsy challenge there by Bardsley. Have to be a little bit careful with those challenges, but both players okay. Free kick, Oxford.
It's a free kick which Phil Chris, the skipper, will take. Duffy has made himself available. There's Krebis, the Latvian who has recently arrived in England, challenging there with John Ashton. Krebis, a January signing for Oxford United. First Latvian to feature in the conference. Played for Metalurgs of Latvia in a European Champions League qualifier against Dinamo Kiev back in August.
With a CV like that, you'd expect to see something happen from him as well, Tony. And there's no time really to get used to the game, but he's getting used to the conference. It is different to a lot of other leagues, and he will have to learn very, very quickly.
Someone else who's had to learn very quickly is Danny Rose as well, who's playing his final game on loan from Manchester United in the centre of the Oxford midfield. He said that the first conference game that he saw was the one that we covered on Sky Sports at the start of January. He's against Gravesend.
That's good play by Andy Burgess there. From the throw-in, not a lot on. Just feints to shape to play the ball back to Brevitt. Takes it inside. His ball in, just overcooked slightly, but he's a player who's got some ability, Tony, and I think we're going to see a lot more of him this evening.
Burgess, who was signed by previous Oxford United manager Brian Talbot, who also had a time in charge at Nen Park. Arrived at Oxford back in January, able to stop him slipping out of the Football League. Oxford had their fate sealed on the final day. Rushden were rock bottom of League Two, 7 points adrift.
He's an intelligent player, Andy Burgess, and they need to get him on the ball as often as possible. Slightly deeper today, offside on this occasion, but he's playing slightly deeper. Love to see him get behind the front two, pick up the loose balls in that sort of area where he can find space. And I'm sure if he can, he's got 2 good feet, can deliver the ball from wide areas as well. But they need to get him on the ball.
He's in towards Beardsley. Between Let's challenge. He missed the fixture against Woking last week because he had an ankle injury. First fixture that he has missed for Oxford this season.
That's the sort of thing that Oxford can't afford to do, is give free kicks away in these sort of areas. Graham Westley from Oldham, he does like to organise when dead ball situations come about, expects his team to score goals.
Maxwell forward, Albrighton also in there. Just with a header clear, and as far as Wilson.
A disappointing ball into the box in the end, well defended by Oxford, and managed to push Rushden all the way back towards their own goal.
Rushden currently in 20th position in the conference. They will go up 5 places should they win this evening. Dagenham and Redbridge currently 9 points clear at the top. There's a whole cluster of clubs who are gathered in just behind, hoping to make the playoff positions. Wilson ready to wind up a long throw, just waiting for Albrighton to make his way forward. And by Wilson. Between Between with a cross, which is well gathered by Tardif.
It's a clean take by the goalkeeper, isn't it? Not under too much pressure. I'll be pleased with that. It's the ball in he saw a little bit earlier, he didn't come for, and maybe he wished he had done. This time he comes and takes it nice and cleanly.
Terrific home record. They've won 7, drawn 6. They're the only team in the conference yet to be beaten at home. Duffy with a header on. Rebels have a swipe at it.
That's a decent header down, isn't it? From the free kick. He tried to maybe force the shot there. Grevis really was, shot wasn't on, defenders in his way. Maybe he should have held the ball up and laid it off to another player. Obviously looks, he's not frightened to take a shot on.
Both these teams with new partnerships in attack. Rushden having signed Chris Beardsley on loan from Mansfield. He's alongside Simeon Jackson, who's in the clear. He's Quinn with a header out, but Jackson again showing just how quick he is when he's playing on that back line.
Yeah, it's an early ball forward again from Rushden, and Jackson's showing how he can get it onto loose balls like that. And Tardif there, not showing a full confidence perhaps a goalkeeper should. Making the wrong decision, gets himself caught in the middle of no man's land. To say, if Simeon Jackson had a left foot, he might have just drifted over his head first time.
Opportunity again for Hatswell, Albrighton and Ashton to get forward. And it's been hooked away off the goal, and it was Albrighton with the shot. Terrific work by Mills. Going to clear. Rushden have made the brighter start.
I'll tell you what, again, Chris Tardif not full of confidence there in goal. His punch wasn't the best.
Wilson again looking for Albright. Touched on by Albrighton. Jamie Cook was following up and never got hold of the shot.
This is the ball in we saw a few moments ago, and it's the shot, wild shot, really got to get over the ball there, Jamie Cook. This is the punch we saw from Chris Tardif. It's not convincing enough for me. with a shot towards goal by Albrighton, really not one from a forward and showing what centre-backs can do, but again it's Chris Tardif in goal for Oxford, has started quite shakily.
Has been among the goals for Oxford this season, 19 in total. Set himself a target of 20 before the campaign began.
We'd have to say as well, Tony, that Rushden have arguably started the better of the two teams, and for me it looks like Oxford looking a little bit nervous. Obviously need to get a win under their belts to get back on track.
That's right. Here's Watson. Now Mills. Cook was trying to get in behind Brevis.
I think maybe Oxford are looking to reorganise in a slightly different formation. See Rufus Brevitt, long way back there, inside his 6-yard box, heading balls away, where you're trying to think that they've got 3 centre-backs. One of them should be picking up that sort of ball coming into the area, not Brevitt.
Another Wilson throw. This one aimed towards Hatswa. Burgess with the clearance. Rushden have won 3 times on their travels so far this season. They made a dreadful start to the current campaign.
Just a sign there if you put Rushden under pressure, and maybe that's what Oxford have got to do a bit more of. Front two, Duffy and Grievous have got to work hard at closing down the defenders. You just see the forced error, just pushing the ball out for a throw-in.
Oxford's last win in the conference was way back on the 25th of November, 2-1 success over Tamworth. However, already beaten the league leaders, Dagenham and Redbridge. Beat them away in the conference and also in the FA Cup 4th round qualifier. Jackson coming back from an offside position.
Just to look a little bit narrow for me, Rushden at the moment. Playing very direct, getting the ball forward to the front man when they can, but they still look a little bit narrow when it's picked up in midfield. Nobody in wide areas to receive the pass.
Watson was dispossessed by Brevis. Green has now picked out Bremit. And towards Duffy.
That's what we talk about with Rufus Brevitt, though, Tony. You know, I think he should be further advanced. It's a decent ball into the box. Gives Grievous a chance to go for it. Coleman all over Hatswell, but I think Rufus Brevitt in those sort of areas should be at least another 10, maybe 15 yards further forward to get his delivery, or better delivery, in from a different angle. I still feel he's playing as a left back at the moment.
Rufus Brevitt, one of the most experienced players in the conference. Plymouth, West Ham United, Fulham, close to 500 games in the Football League. Oxford were losing at Woking last week. Rushden were enjoying a 3-1 home success over Cambridge United. Cambridge, who enjoyed a win at the weekend, they defeated Woking by 3-0. After a sequence of 7 games without a win. Oxford here have gone 8 without success in the conference. It's an alarming loss of form. A team who started the season as second favourites to win promotion and who are long-time leaders of the conference. There's nobody more experienced than Jim Smith. Started his career in management 38 years ago. He's in the non-league as well with Boston United. In charge of Oxford United for 2 spells now. Also sits on the board of directors, having been taken over back in March by Nick Merry. Another anxious moment for Chris Tardif. Accusing glare from his skipper.
Well, this doesn't help your defenders at all. Chris Tardif again looking nervous, not too sure whether to come. Is the ball going to reach his penalty area? Oh, definite confusion between him and Phil Gilchrist. Is he coming? Is he not? Well, he's been indecisive so far in this first half for me, Tardif.
Here's Brevitt. Burgess, who's back after illness and injury. He's taken another knock.
Well, just show the good skills that Burgess has got. Good feet, both feet, working the ball well. Oh, there was no challenge there, was there? Well, that's disappointing from Burgess. Doesn't really have to go down in those situations.
Rose with the misdirected crossfield pass.
I think there's a little bit of nervousness throughout this Oxford side tonight, Tony. You know, you look at players coming into areas, and we saw them earlier in the season on Sky, and a totally different side at the moment. You can only say reasons why they've slipped down the table. Those nerves are there, and the confidence is definitely not among the players that you thought it would be. Ball pass by Danny Rose, and the goalkeeper making the mistakes he's making so far. Just unnerves players, and they lose that belief.
There's a bit more communication among the back 4 now, and the goalkeeper, Tardif. First time he started in the conference this season because of the injury to Billy Turley. Turley, who to his credit has kept 12 clean sheets. And Oxford have conceded just 20 goals. They've got the best defensive record in the conference, despite losing top place. Burgess loses out to Ashton. Here's Beardsley. Jackson again will give chase, and Tardif this time was sharply off his goal line and managed to get there first.
Well, he's made the right decision this time, Chris Tardif. Simeon Jackson charging down on you. You know he's got pace, can't take any chances.
Well, there with Duffy. Brevitt. Brevitt was put under pressure there by Beardsley. Rose providing a bit more composure in the centre of midfield. And that's a giveaway by young Andrew Gunn, the young 18-year-old. Only previous appearance was as a substitute at Exeter on New Year's Day when Oxford lost 2-1.
I think if you were a Rushden player or Graham Wesley, you'd feel that you're going to get something out of this game over the opening 20 minutes for Rushden and Diamonds. I'm sure Graham Wesley's feeling that in the dugout at the moment, and he wants to push home the advantage that his side have obviously had in these early stages. because you know at some stage that Oxford will probably come back in force, but I'm sure Graham Wesley there thinking that this is his side's opportunity.
Wilson with the throw. Again with the initial clearance. Anaclet, been too many opportunities for him to get forward so far. Good clearance that by Tardif. Wilson breaking forward. Just too much pace on the pass for Beardsley.
Was a poor pass in the end after poor goal kick by the goalkeeper. And the pass eventually possibly could have gone a little bit earlier to the right hand side, goes left and overhits it, overcooks his pass.
First half so far has been very stop-start. Not been finding any real fluency or cohesion. That's what. Being put under pressure by Jackson and by Watson. Jackson to take on Anaclet.
That's a good battle between those two, isn't it? Probably two of the quickest players on the park. Anaclet and Simeon Jackson. Foot race between those would be good to see.
Anaclet, who's in his first season with his hometown club, comes from Oxford, but he was at Southampton. He was in the same junior team as Dexter Blackstock. Did have time last season with Tamworth.
Not too sure the referee's got this right, but just called him on the side of the face as well as he went for the ball there to Gary Mills. Maybe that's what the referee saw, was the arm coming across his face. He's going to get a yellow card for it, maybe for his complaints as well.
Gary Mills receives a yellow card.
We see the challenge again. I don't think Gary Mills has done too much wrong with the actual challenge, just trying to get his body in the way, but it was an arm that came up. Danny Rose across the side of the face.
Mills now in his second spell with Rushden and Diamonds. He's begun the season with Crawley. He's had his problems with injuries in the past as well. Had 14 months out in his first stint with Rushden.
Well, again, Oxford giving away the free kick. Barry Quinn, the perpetrator on this occasion. Again, it gives Rushden an opportunity to bring up the big guys from the back. Hatswell's gone forward, so has Albrighton.
Whip this in left-footed. He's found the skipper, and that's a terrific save by Tardif. There was just a touch from Wayne Hatswell, and he's been denied by Chris Tardif.
Well, it's a quality ball in, isn't it? Missing out the first man, and Hatswell gets to it first, gets the slightest of touches. I have to say, Chris Tardif has made up for his earlier mistakes. This is a wonderful push away to that right-hand side. Good save by the goalkeeper.
Hatswell, one of the former Oxford contingent, denied by Chris Tardif. Mills with a corner kick. And there's Albrighton with a header.
Well, he's got up well, hasn't he, Mark Albrighton? This is a hanging cross to the far post. He's got up ever so early. Mark Albrighton just couldn't quite direct it on target. But you just tend to feel, don't you, Tony, it's Rushden in the ascendancy in this first half, and just getting a little bit of a feeling around the crowd that the Oxford crowd are trying to lift their team. They know they're not playing particularly well.
Griffith has given Grevis something to chase. Burgess there to help him out. Here is Andy Burgess. Header was won by Mills. Hatswell. Griffiths. Now Gilchrist. Attempted to pick out Grevis, but Hatswell was providing the block. Watson driving on. Perpetuini. Should have been taken by Tardif. He was buffeted then. The referee has decided to award a free kick.
This is a referee really looking after the goalkeeper. I think this is a fair challenge. I think that's a ball that's there to be won. Didn't see an elbow or an arm being raised. The referee giving the benefit of the doubt to Chris Tardif. At least on this occasion he gets 2 good fists to the ball.
The goal attempt so far, 5 for Rushden, just 1 for Oxford. Just the 1 on target.
Yeah, and it sums it up, doesn't it? The actual performance that Rushden have put in, the greatest of quality, but definitely had more of the ball.
Watson. Now Beardsley. He's in the corner off Gunn. Beardsley was one of the many signings that Graham Wesley has made since taking over in late December. And by Mills. Ashton up. Ashton.
A little bit over-ambitious by John Ashton there.
There's plenty of other live football on Sky Sports this week. Tuesday at 7:30, Sky Sports 1 and Sky Sports HD 1. We're into the Premiership for West Ham United versus Liverpool. And then on Wednesday evening at 7 on Sky Sports 1 and Sky Sports HD 1. It's the Carling Cup semi-final second leg, Arsenal against Tottenham Hotspur. And how that is poised at 2-2 after the first leg last week at White Hart Lane.
Well, again, Jackson coming back from an offside position. He's one of those players who sort of plays on the shoulder of the last man and gambles a little bit. He's got bags of pace. Just needs to think about his runs a little bit more. But of the two sides, you'd have to say Rushden look better organised in this first 30 minutes or so.
Rushden there was climbing on Duffy.
He just got up a little bit too early, didn't he, John Ashton? And he's just tripped over Rob Duffy, but then he stood on his leg, and the referee wants to have a word with both players just to calm it down a little bit. Duffy not happy with the standing on the leg, but I don't know if the referee actually saw that or not. I have to feel though, Tony, it's a chance now perhaps for Oxford in this first 30 minutes to put some pressure on the Rushden goal. We haven't seen a great deal of it in this opening part of the first half.
Brevitt has left it. Well defended by Ashton. Burgess on his less favoured right foot.
Well, he was, wasn't he? It wasn't convincingly cleared by Rushden, and just tend to think Andy Burgess got caught a little bit flat-footed, a little bit hesitant with his strike.
Burgess has got 6 goals in the conference so far this season. He's missed the last 4 games. Suffered concussion in the FA Trophy, a fixture against Lewis, and then subsequently picked up a virus. With so many injury problems this season. Burgess having missed the last 4 games. Steve Basham scored just 4 goals this season as another casualty. He injured a knee at Exeter on New Year's Day. Chris Wilmot is out for the rest of the season. In that fixture last week against Woking, 3 first-team regulars all picked up injuries, and injuries which are likely to keep them out for between 1 or 2 months. George Santos, the central defender who joined from Brighton. Carl Pettifer has been a regular in midfield, and Matt Day, who's got an ankle problem. Anaclet. There's Quinn. Brevitt.
That was the first passage of play that Oxford have had in the last 10 or 15 minutes, really, where they put maybe 5 or 6 passes together. The last pass was a loose one, but they retained possession through the throw-in, and feel the size of disappointment by the Oxford fans because they didn't get really advanced and up to the edge of the penalty area.
There's Burgess. Between Beardsley. Jackson. Cross is overhit and Mills will give chase.
There we see Simeon Jackson find himself a little bit of space, getting isolated one-on-one. A couple of step overs. Shows his pace to get beyond the last defender. The quality of the cross just not there.
Scribbles hat-tricks in consecutive games against Altrincham and also Tamworth back in September, but he had a long run without a goal, 8 games without a goal before he scored one, having coming off the bench against Stafford Rangers. He was on target again last week against Cambridge United. Brevitt. Duffy, which has presented the ball to Cook, if only momentarily.
A nice bit of aggression from Rufus Brevitt there, just trying to push his team further forward, but again, when he received the pass a moment or 2 earlier, for me, much too deep as a wing-back. They're going to get the ball forward with quality, Oxford United. Got to get their wing-backs further advanced.
Rose was determined. Watson. Between. We know that Jackson's quick, but he's certainly not that quick. Who started the season 18 games unbeaten, 13 wins, 5 draws. Finally lost their unbeaten record to Gravesend and Northfleet. Since then they've lost at Rushden, they've lost at Exeter, and also at fixture last week against Woking. Mentioned the problems that Oxford have got at the moment, but the season picking up for Rushden since the appointment of Graham Wesley. They were 1 off the bottom at the end of November. It's the same day that Oxford enjoyed their last win in the conference, that 2-1 success against Tamworth here. Anaclet. Another wasted opportunity. simply isn't happening for them at the moment.
No, it isn't. They're just not finding their men, are they? And the final pass is not good enough. I just think they've got to get their wing-backs further forward, get their front two working the back four of Rushden and Diamond a little bit harder than they actually are, and try and get Andy Burgess on the ball in good areas, a little bit higher up the park. For me, they're a little bit too deep through midfield. But from Rushden's point of view, I mean, they're just nice and solid. And you can understand why Graham Wesley has gone in there and he's organised his side to not really get beat, Tony. And you can see why, coming away here to the Kassam Stadium, he's thinking, well, let's not get beat. First thoughts. And I think even he'll be surprised on the way Oxford have played in the first half.
Here back in the conference after 5 seasons in the Football League. Relegated at the end of last season. It cost Barry Hunter his job. Paul Hart was hired in the summer. He lasted for just 16 games and went in October. Tony Godden had a brief spell in temporary charge. Now the job has gone to Graham Wesley, who was previously in charge of Stevenage Borough and who enjoyed great success with Farnborough in the FA Cup not that many years ago. We got through to the 4th round of the FA Cup before they lost 5-1 at Arsenal. It was Wesley who steered them into the conference.
Well, he did a good job with Farmer initially. People disappointed with the way he left the club, but you know, he's a man who wants to get on as a manager, Tony, and I know he wants to move up the leagues, and now with Rushden, probably feels that he can stabilise them at this moment in time.
Ashton with a free kick. It's Jackson with the shot, and what a glorious opportunity that was for Albrighton. What a miss.
Well, it should have been a goal, shouldn't it? It's a good header into the box by Hatswell. Simeon Jackson finds that little bit of space, and that's 2 goes at it. Good save initially by Tardif. But Mark Albrighton, well, he won't want to see that again, will he? As it bounces into his stride. Just one player on the line to beat, takes his eye off the ball, sees the glory, but it's not there for him.
Mark Albrighton is on loan at the moment from Boston United. He hasn't scored a goal since he was playing for Doncaster Rovers. You have to go back over 2 years for that one.
I think we can see why, Tony, can't we now? He'd be so disappointed. I think if you'd probably put it on his head, he'd have probably put it in the back of the net, but came at him on the volley.
No Chris Hope tonight for Rushden and Diamonds, the skipper who's had a family bereavement and had to drop out of the team earlier today. He had been a conference ever present for them so far this season.
Well, again, for me, Rushden winning midfield area, the battle through midfield, anything that's in the air. For me, Rushden have won nearly every ball.
Brighton staying back this time to take the free kick. Rose. And by Brevitt, cut out by Mills. Here's Ashton.
Good defending by Phil Gilchrist in the end. I think initially he was looking to put the header back where the ball had come from, and he finds it just drifting over his head. He knows he's got the quick Jackson behind him. He's got to do something. Just gets his body in the way. Good experience.
Oxford skipper who returned to the club during the summer. Had a spell at Rotherham United, and he was here originally with the team that featured Matt Elliott. The team that won promotion to the old First Division back in 1996. He later joined Elliott at Leicester City as well. There's another who's had his problems recently with injury. Hamstring injury which kept him out for 3 games. Gunn with a free kick. It's pitched in towards Duffy. It's come back out now to Danny Rose. Ashton. Here's Jackson. Quinn's clearance. Came off Albrighton. Grevis thought for a moment he was going to be in the clear. Now Jackson is caught offside.
Well, he just showed a couple of times, hasn't he, Grevis, that possibly he's got that bit of pace to beat these 2 big centre-backs for Rushden. We see him getting between players and using a bit of strength. Oh, good fortune for him, but he's got the pace to beat them. They can get the ball down on the floor, Oxford United.
Well, they were shoulder to shoulder, but he was given a fair shove there by Wayne Hatswell.
Well, 2 centre-backs, Mark Albright, Wayne Hatswell, they're big lads, they're solid, they're experienced. They know this league as well, Tony, and you know, Oxford are going to have to come up with something different to their game plan.
Hatswell had 18 months at Oxford United. It's now his 2nd season with Rushden. He was signed in January of last year by Barry Hunter. Watts. Here's Cook. Neatly done by Cook. A couple of occasions in this first half he's had a clear sight of goal, and on both occasions he's failed to find the target.
Yeah, got this one wrong as well, didn't he, Jamie Cook? He was looking to open up the play, get him onto his left foot, his stronger left foot. Oh, he's got that one all wrong, but there were a couple of opportunities to pass, a couple of good runs. Decides to shoot, gets it all wrong.
I'm surprised that Rushden made the move for Jamie Cook. He had played at Stevenage under Graham Wesley and also at Maidenhead under John Dreyer, the former Oxford United man who's now Graham Wesley's number 2 at Rushden. I think that was lost in translation somewhere.
I think the surprising thing with what Rushden have done very well is quiet in the crowd as well. Tony, you know, the Oxford crowd's a big crowd here tonight, and there's just not enough coming from them either.
Back in by Mills. All brighten up. Cook there snatched at another chance.
A couple of desperate shots from Jamie Cook in the last minute or two, not reaping any rewards. And from, I have to say, in this first half, Rushden's almost total domination. Not really looked like they were going to score, apart from that opportunity for Albrighton.
One extra minute we're to have at the end of this first half.
The referee has indicated a minimum of 1 additional minute, 1 extra minute, brought to you by Andy Press.
Simply isn't anything on for Rufus Brevin. Burgess now. Rose. Anaclet. Coombs has made himself available. And Leclerc goes on. In by Rose. Was he trying to find Duffy, or was he trying to find Rufus Brevitt?
Well, I think he was looking for Brevitt. It's a poor pass, isn't it? Just for a moment there, Oxford had pulled Rushden from one side, then to the other. Danny Rose comes inside, tries to look for Rufus Brevitt, and he sums up his first half performance with his passing. Danny Rose, he's a better passer of the ball than that.
Chorus of boos for Oxford United, who are suffering a major crisis of confidence. Rushden and Diamonds creating the better openings in the first half. Wayne Hatswell coming closest to a goal with a header which was turned away by Chris Tardif. But it hasn't been comfortable for Oxford or their supporters. It's Oxford United 0, Rushden and Diamonds 0.
And I can tell you the locals here at the Kassam Stadium, they're encouraging John Aldridge to get stripped for the second half. We'll get his views on the first 45 minutes in a moment or two. It's been hard to tell in truth who's chasing promotion and who's battling to avoid relegation. Goalless at half-time. Which of the manager's words of wisdom will work best? This evening, no goals so far at the Kassam Stadium. Oxford United second in the nationwide conference against struggling Rushden and Diamonds, but no break in the deadlock. John Aldridge is our guest this evening, forward from Oxford striker, of course. Now, John, you've been in the dressing room, I would imagine, on more than one occasion when things haven't been going well. What will Jim Smith's approach be? Is he calm and collected or not?
I learned some bad habits management from Jim Smith in the dressing room at half-time, throwing tea, etc., etc. He won't be happy with his team performance, that's a fact. Don't think he will be happy about, Jeff, is it's 0-0. Because Rushden could be 2 or 3 goals ahead and the game could be beyond Oxford. So I think he'll use that as a positive side for his half-time team talk.
Is it just down to a lack of confidence amongst the Oxford players?
It looks like, you know, some of the passing have been atrocious. The 2 wing-backs have not got in the game. No diagonals. Vlad Burgess, who plays behind the front two, failed to get in the game. And for that system to work, they've got to be employed. And certainly with the lack of passing, lack of possession that Oxford have had, they failed to do so. And Rushden have took advantage.
Well, they almost had the worst possible start, the home side, because in just 17 seconds on our clock, the visitors had a fantastic opportunity, just 3 or 4 seconds on the clock when Oxford concede the free kick, and eventually it's going to land at the feet of Simeon Jackson, who earlier this season, John, scored hat-tricks in successive games, but not with finishing like this.
Yeah, it possibly came too early for him, Jeff. It's a fantastic opportunity, 17 seconds. You know, not great defending, you have to say. Quinn and Tardif, you know, the communication wasn't there at all, and should have hit the target at least.
Well, the goalkeeper looked very uncertain, didn't he, in the early stages, but later in the game came into his own and made a couple of crucial saves.
He did. He had a really dodgy 25 minutes, but this settled him down a bit, this save. It's a good, well-worked free kick into a good area. He's attacked it well, and it's a good save. The more you see it, the better the save actually gets.
So Wayne Hatswell had got his head just the slightest a touch there, and he'd have loved to have scored against his former club,
Yeah,
but it's a terrific save.
Yeah, it's a good save.
But I wonder if Rushden are going to rue the chances they've missed here, because they had another fantastic opportunity after 37 minutes. Didn't fall to the man they would have wanted it to fall to. In truth, Jackson with the first shot, but that's Albrighton with a horror miss.
I think that's why he's a defender, Jeff, in all honesty. The lad might say he's come on his wrong foot, but I'm not having that. He knows he should have scored there. It's another tremendous save. Watch the goalkeeper, spreads his body well, gets down, good block, unlucky Jackson. But you've got to score them opportunities at any level.
Well, Mark Albrighton hasn't scored a goal since September 2004, and that's why. Will Graham Westley, the Russian manager, be a bit disappointed? The domination that they've had, that they've not managed to nose themselves in front?
Without doubt. He knows they should have been 1, maybe 2 up, you know, three great chances. But Oxford have got to use that to their advantage, you know, and second half, I'm sure they can't play any worse than what they've done there. That's so disappointing to see them. You know, and Rushden they'll think, you know, we should have put the game probably beyond Oxford, and, you know, negativity could set in. Oxford could utilise that to their advantage, yeah.
OK, well, it is goalless at half-time. Hoping for better in the second half. Those fans have been silenced, really, by the Rushden performance this evening. And they are much the happier of the 2 sets of fans at present. It's my guest here at the Kassam Stadium. We're at half-time. It's Oxford 0, Rushden and Diamonds 0, and I'm sure, John, you've got more than a shred of sympathy for the Oxford front two, who haven't seen the ball at all yet.
Yeah, definitely. You know, no fault of theirs, no creativity whatsoever, Jeff. And Jim was saying before the game, one thing they have been done is carving chances out. I can't believe not one save to make the goalkeeper all that off. They've got to get a foot on the ball, foothold in the game. Midfield, got to start keeping the ball, switching the play to the full-backs, get them more forward and give them a bit of supply, give them a chance.
Okay, well, Graham Wesley said before the match his first priority was a clean sheet. He's halfway towards achieving that. Let's join our commentators for the second half of this one once again. Clive Walker and Tony Jones.
Thanks, Jeff. Well, Rushden and Diamonds have shored things up defensively, certainly since Graham Wesley took over. Oxford, one of the tightest, well, the tightest defence in the conference currently. They've conceded just 20 goals. They've struggled to create anything up front with a combination of Grebish and Duffy together in attack. So it will be Oxford United who get this second half underway. There have been some terrific attendances at the Kassam Stadium this season, including the highest ever in the conference for the Boxing Day fixture against Woking. Just over 11,000, over 8,000 here for the visit of Aldershot. Huge expectation at the start of the season. The season had started so brightly for Oxford United, but suddenly they've had a major dip in form. 8 conference games without a win. They've also gone out of the FA Trophy. It's a competition that Rushden is still involved in. Jim Smith has left his seat in the stand. He's entitled to sit in the director's box. He is a director now of Oxford United as well. Takeover that was completed by Nick Merry back in March. Bought the club for £2 million. His appetite for the game hasn't diminished at all. First had a job in management, Boston United, way back in 1969. 65 years of age now. Promotions with Oxford, Derby, Birmingham and Colchester United. 5 promotions in all. It's a terrific managerial CV. Watson's challenge there on Grebish.
Looked like he's almost come through the back of him there. Referee deciding he played the ball first. No free kick was given, but it's nice and solid from Watson.
It's unlikely that Paul Watson would have had a game this evening had Chris Hope, the skipper, not pulled out this morning because of a family bereavement. It's meant some readjustment at the back this evening for Rushden, with Hatswell moving across to join Albrighton in the centre of the defence. Coombs. Now Duffy. This is better. And a Clat. It's a terrific ball into. It's falling kindly now for Duffy. Grebish. And a Clat. And tipped over the top by Tynan. Well, the Rushden goalkeeper has had precious little to do, but he was able then to clear from Anaclet.
That's good play by Oxford United, wasn't it? Anaclet with a decent ball into the box. Albrighton gets his header on the ball. Duffy with the poor shot, it then shuffled out here to Anaclet. That's good footwork by the goalkeeper to get back into position.
Oxford have given the ball away. There are possibilities here now for Rushden, certainly, or they were for a moment as Cook broke forward. Rose. Picked down Grebish and the flag was raised for an offside.
I just think his pass was too slow in getting away. Danny Rose. Both his forwards have made good runs into good positions. They were onside, but he takes the extra touch, Danny Rose, in midfield. By the time he plays the ball, Grebish has gone into an offside position, but a much brighter start by Oxford United. And I, like John Aldridge, have been in a dressing room with Jim Smith at half-time and know what he says and what he expects from his side, and you can see he's fired them up.
Oxford playing with far more purpose. Anaclet. By Albright. Here's Burgess. Good play by Brevitt. Will be an Oxford throw. It went out off Wilson.
Well, straight away the start that Oxford have made has lifted the crowd somewhat. Jim Smith maybe in that technical area as well has increased it. It's going to be a goal kick this time for Rushden, but a much brighter start, and Jim Smith there in his technical area always gives the crowd a lift as well. And we're just going to see the save again after Anaclet's little clip, a little change of feet there. That's good footwork by Scott Tynan, just to make one or two steps backwards and then just ease the ball over the crossbar.
Scott Tynan, who's returned to the team in place of Nicky Eyre, who last featured when Rushden defeated Oxford 1-0 at Nen Park. The game was played on the 9th of December. We're fortunate to get away with that. Brevitt now for Oxford.
Well, this is the period of game where Rushden will have to stand strong if they're going to get something out of it. A weak pass by Rufus Brevitt gives the ball back to the team in red.
And by Cook. Beardsley waiting alongside Jackson then. Still the pressure is being applied here by Rushden. Cook's cross again. Beardsley's header, wrong side of the post.
That's another chance, isn't it, for Rushden as the ball comes in and Beardsley gets in front of his marker. It's a decent enough header down into that near post area. Couldn't quite find the corner.
Chris Beardsley, who's on loan from Mansfield at the moment. He made his debut in the 2-1 win that Rushden enjoyed against Stafford Rangers. Goal attempts now for Rushden, just 3 for Oxford. Rushden with just the 2 on target. Coming back to his goalkeeper. It's a move that didn't enthuse the Oxford supporters.
Well, they're still working tirelessly through the midfield area, Rushden and Diamonds, and some good work from Glenn Wilson there and Herbert Sweeney, all getting involved and just stopping Oxford from getting any flow into their game. They've started brighter in this second period, but they've got to keep it up. They can't stop. Obviously the thoughts of their manager must be ringing in their ears still. Rushden not allowing Oxford any time on the ball whatsoever.
2 hefty challenges there by Rufus Brevitt. Second one punished with a free kick. I think Beardsley was upset with the first challenge, never mind the second one on Cook.
Just Rufus Brevitt showing a little bit of passion. I don't think there was too much in the first one. Well, he's dived in somewhat there, Rufus Brevitt, and he is going to get a yellow card. Possibly the actions of the Rushden player has got them this yellow card.
Yellow card for Rufus Brevitt. It's his 5th caution this season. Brevitt will be ruled out of the fixture at Aldershot. And by Cook. Oh, it's a free header, and that's a goal for Rushden. It's Chris Beardsley, and it's his first since joining the club.
Well, they weathered the early storm by Oxford United in this second half. Rushden and Diamonds, it's a decent ball into the box. They do work hard on this, and it's a decent header into the bottom corner. He had a little tester a few minutes ago, Chris Beardsley. This time gets in front of his marker. And it's a terrific downward header, back where the ball came from. Right into that bottom corner, no chance for the goalkeeper.
Chris Beardsley was on target against Cambridge United last week. It's 2 in 2 games now for Beardsley. He's in the same Kidderminster team as Wayne Hatswell, who were relegated from the Football League in 2005.
We'd have to say, Tony, if that had come in the first half, I can hardly say we would have expected it, but after a bright start by Oxford United in this second period, perhaps we thought they might go on and score, but Rushden have weathered that early 5 or 6 minutes. And Graham Wesley, we spoke about his organisational way he goes about it with his side, and they do look well organised in a 4-4-2 formation, but he works hard in dead ball areas, both defensively and attacking wise.
Since that Graham Wesley was itching to get a return to management after leaving Stevenage Borough at the end of last season. Certainly had plenty of time during the first half of the season to assess what might be available should a job come up, and it's come up at Rushden. He hasn't wasted any time making some key signings for his team. Chris Beardsley, one of them. A striker who suffered for much of last season, having broken his leg back in August of 2005.
I think what else he's got in is 2 defenders in this evening, in Wayne Hatswell and Mark Albrighton there in the picture, who know this league. They're solid, no frills, they know what it's all about in the conference, and they're 2 solid defenders, and they've been dominating in this game.
History as well as on Rushden's side. They've been beaten in the last 6 meetings, home and away. Oxford doing the double back in 2003 when Dave Savage scored 2 for Oxford. 3-0 win. Again on target with David Oldfield, and a 2-0 success at Nen Park. Savage, who tonight is on the bench for Rushden and Diamonds. Neatly done by Cook. Here's Brevitt. Oxford United, who've gone 8 conference games without a win. They've yet to lose at home this season. 7 wins and 6 draws. They're the only team in the conference yet to be beaten on home territory. Is it going to happen this evening? Rushden and Diamonds looking for a 3rd successive conference win. All changed for them as well since Graham Wesley took over. On by Duffy.
That's one of the first headers that Rob Duffy's actually won this evening. It's really given Gravis any chance of getting on the end of, but again, Wayne Hatswell in the right place at the right time.
Duffy's got 19 goals this season, 16 in the conference. If he gets 20, he'll be the first Oxford player since Nigel Jemson 10 years ago. Right by Hatswell. Here's Beardsley, the goal scorer. In no hurry to take the throw. Beardsley. Jackson unable to get the better of Quinn and Anna Lett. In by Watson. Beardsley, Driven over the top by Gary Mills.
Well, disappointing strike in the end, but they've worked it well up that left-hand side to get the ball into the area, kept the ball alive. A little bit of good fortune with the ball, but unfortunately, all the way into the car park on this occasion.
And it is a big car park. Brevitt. Rushden will go up 5 places should they win here this evening. 3 away wins so far this season. In by Watson. Burgess loses out. Jackson dispossessed by Gunn.
He's been disappointed tonight, Andy Burgess. Always a much better player when he's going forward. He's played with his back to goal most of the game today. Giving the ball away cheaply to the Rushden players there, and Jackson with a poor first touch which could have given him an advantage.
Burgess, who earlier this season was being linked with Leeds United. Joined Oxford back in January last year from Rushden and Diamonds. Was a conference winner with Rushden back in 2001. Years of success for Rushden and Diamonds. It was the playoff final in 2002. They were promoted in 2003, and then the spiral started in the opposite direction.
I think you'd have to say with Andy Burgess, his body language doesn't look good. He doesn't look like he's happy playing in the position that he is at the moment. Not getting the service perhaps that he's looking for. And he does need to inspire his side if they're going to get back into this game.
Oxford have been short of inspiration. Here's Jackson. He showed nimble feet yet again to get to the byline and to get the cross in.
He's shown his pace, hasn't he there, Simeon Jackson? Perhaps he wasn't going to get there, but he's done well to get his cross in.
Brevitt. Here's Rose. Coombs. Recruited last Friday from Cardiff City. First out for Greg Coombs this evening, and a first out as well for Andrew Gunn in the Oxford United defence. George Santos amongst those injured last Tuesday evening when Oxford were beaten by Woking. And the 4 defeats that they've suffered this season. And they started the season by going 18 games without defeat.
It tells you what confidence does for you, Tony, doesn't it? You know, you get themselves on a roll at the beginning of the season, and they've done ever so well, but now, of course, it's backs to the wall stuff, and it's when you find out about the characters in your side, can they come back from this Oxford United?
Anaclet. Able to cut inside Beardsley and then go outside him. Well, we saw Oxford play on Sky Sports earlier in the season where they were most effective at Crawley. It needed a last-minute winner that day. But they played with far more confidence, and they looked a team who were perhaps heading straight back to the Football League, but you wouldn't say that that was what was going through the mind of Jim Smith, the manager at the moment.
I think the big disappointment, Tony, is the fact they play such good flowing football as well. Okay, you could say that you're creating chances, but not scoring them, but they're not playing any sort of flowing football this evening. And to be fair to Rushden, they're not allowing them to do that either.
Grevis. Maclett. Here's Burgess. Quinn. Revitt confronted by Cook. And again by Burgess. In by Quinn. Here's Duffy. Revis goes down, and the shot is touched away. That was a terrific save from young Coombs by Tynan, twice now in this second half. He has kept Rushden in front.
Super save. This is down into the bottom corner, but more positive by Oxford United to get it into the box. A little bit of good fortune. Good strike by Greg Coombs, bang on target. Super save by Scott Tynan.
Rushden with an opportunity to regroup at the back again. Out by Albrighton. Back in by Gilchrist. And this time claimed by Tynan.
Well, he looks full of confidence now, doesn't he, Scott Tynan? A couple of good saves and a decent take there. Just relieves the pressure for a minute or so from Oxford United and allow Rushden to push forward.
Scott Tynan, who made his debut for Rushden in the 3-0 Football League when they had over Oxford in January of last year. One terrific save in this second half, and a tidy stop as well to keep out the chip from Eddie Anaclet.
There we see the shot bang on target into the bottom corner. It's a decent save by Scott Tynan.
Tynan had a spell with Hereford United at the start of the season after Wayne Brown had been injured. He played in the Carling Cup in a win that Hereford enjoyed against Coventry City. Duffy up. Beaten in the air by Hatswell. Well, the deflection didn't deceive Tynan.
Again, he's kept his eye on the ball. Scott Tynan. Rushden get into the header first, clearing their lines, but it's a free shot coming in. I think the deflection was from Danny Rose. The goalkeeper keeps his eye on the ball, takes it nice and cleanly.
By Mills. Beardsley. Oh, it's come back off the goalkeeper. It's a good recovery by Chris Tardif, and his distribution immaculate to pick out Anaclet. Revis gives chase. Bold enough to advance beyond the edge of his penalty area. Anaclet. Out by Hatswell. Here's Burgess. Coombs. He's being held there by Wilson.
It could be a yellow card here, stopping Berbatini from advancing forward, the arm round the neck and across the shoulder. Well, it's going to be a yellow card for him. Just a little bit of better play by Oxford United, switching the play very quickly there through Burgess, but do need to make their superiority count at the moment.
Yellow card for Glenn Wilson. Coombs with a free kick. Gunn is in there. It's come out to Burgess. Well defended by Ashton. And then by Cook. Ashton again. It's a very meaty challenge by John Ashton on Greg Coombs.
Well, you have to say the Rushden have defended very, very strongly. seemed to be getting to the headers first. I think Wayne Hatswell's doing a terrific job in the centre of defence. We see the tackle by John Ashton. The referee feels he got the ball first, although he somewhat dived in. And Oxford will make a substitution.
This is going off to be replaced by Yemi Udubade. So a change in attack now by Oxford United. Dave Savage with an opportunity to come on against his former club. He's replacing Glenn Wilson, who's just been cautioned. Perpetuini is also going off here. So double change by Rushden and Diamonds. Perpetuini off to be replaced by Marcus Kelly.
Well, maybe Rushden are feeling that Graham Wesley feels that his side needs a bit of bolstering through midfield. So a few more legs. He feels Oxford are beginning to sort of grind them down, and Wesley making 2 substitutions just to beef things up a little bit more in that midfield area.
He's got 4 goals this season, and he scored twice when Rushden defeated Oxford at Men Park in January last year. Mills. Here's Kelly. Watson made the run for him. Watson's got the ball back. Oh, it's a terrific save! A terrific double save by Tardif to deny Beardsley a second goal.
Oh, what a good chance for Rushden to seal the game. Not too sure about Oxford's defending, but that's a terrific ball into the box. And Beardsley will be disappointed he didn't put that into the back of the net. Super save by Chris Tardif. Very, very brave at the feet of Bardsley. And we see it from the other side as defensively Oxford, as I say, should have cleared their lines. Well, he had all the goal to aim at, didn't he, Beardsley? Terrific ball in by Paul Watson as well to give Bardsley the opportunity, but Chris Tardif doing very, very well.
Oxford at the moment are down to 10 men because Udubade has been told to go off and remove the vest which he had on under his yellow shirt. A long sleeve black vest, and he was told to take her off. Udubade's 23rd appearance as a substitute this season for Oxford. He's got 6 goals for them. He's won 10 conference games without a goal. Oxford, the long-time leaders, desperate to get back into this. Mills has picked out Jackson. Jackson prepared to take on Gilchrist. Savage. Now Kelly. 3 waiting inside the penalty area. Good work by Kelly.
Terrific step overs by Kelly, wasn't it? Just moved the defender out of the way, but his ball in wasn't the best. A couple of yards beyond everybody.
Jackson again with Gilchrist.
Well, again, Simeon Jackson's pace causing problems for the Oxford defence. Just about managing to scrape this one away for a corner, but again, when Rushden do come forward, they look the more likely team to score.
Cook across to take the corner kick. Hatswell for Albrighton also in. Anaclet. Play by Gary Mills. Recently returned to Rushden and Diamonds from Crawley, where he spent the first half of the season. Beardsley. Brevin. Coombs, who hit that terrific shot, but Tynan was able to turn behind for a corner kick. Oxford's best chance perhaps of this second half. Anaclet. Still Anaclet goes on. Beardsley. Jackson. Ball pushed across to cover.
Chance there for Rushden to break again. 2-on-2 at the back. His pass wasn't the best to Jackson, whose touch was poor.
It's a problem for Greg Coombs, who hasn't played a great deal of football recently. He arrived at Oxford on Friday from Cardiff City.
Was it? Stiff challenge there from Dave Savage. It's out of it okay, just had a little bit of a knock, I think, on the upper thigh there.
It's Oxford making a change. Rufus Brevitt is going off. Kevin Johnson has come on in his place. That's a straight swap. Jim Smith is trying to make another change. To bring on Marvin Robinson, and he is coming on in place of young Coombs. See pathetic applause for Greg Coombs, who has made his Oxford United debut, having joined them on loan from Cardiff City. Oxford with huge injury problems just at the moment. At least Marvin Robinson is on his way back. A further delay while Rushden now make a change. It's Simeon Jackson who's going off. Lee Tomlin is coming on in his place. Jackson, the 19-year-old, replaced by Lee Tomlin, who's just 18.
Well, sometimes when you make changes like this that can disrupt either side, but maybe from Oxford's point of view they might look to change things slightly.
Go on, tight now. Go on, Jono. And again.
Marvin Robinson will probably try and lead the line a bit more now.
I mentioned the many injury problems that Oxford have got at the moment, but at least Marvin Robinson is now back. He was injured in that live Sky Sports fixture we had in mid-September at Crawley, damaged knee ligaments, and he has only just returned. Another of the ex-Rushden contingent. Briefly had a spell there as a non-contract player back in 2004. Again, it's Rushden who are making the running. Burgess. On to Udabadi. Out by Watson.
Well, it looks like Oxford have gone more to a 4-3-3 now. The three strikers on. Jim Smith feels that change of formation in the last sort of 12 minutes of the game might increase their opportunities, but do need to create a little bit more than they have done.
Rushden to Knew that latest miss. Double save that Tardif made from Beardsley.
That's a poor decision by Lee Tomlin. He's done well initially to win the ball and keep the ball under good pressure, but he's got opportunities to pass both left and right. Takes the shot on when Rui just gets his head down, doesn't see the pass, and the strike was poor.
Graham Wesley has now had a couple of months to assess all the players at his disposal. He's brought in a few, and he has said that Lee Tomlin will be a big asset, just 18 years of age. Rushden created so much in this game, but they've just the one goal to show for it, scored by Chris Beardsley. Beardsley was on target last week in the 3-1 midweek win over Cambridge United. Rushden here looking for a third successive conference success. Also successful in the FA Trophy against Whitton Albion. They've a fixture this weekend at Gravesend. They were due to play AFC Wimbledon. They have been eliminated from the competition because they played an ineligible player.
Just a little bit slow getting back into position there, Marvin Robinson.
Tuesday evening at 7:30 on Sky Sports 1 and Sky Sports HD1. We've Premiership football. West Ham United trying to pull clear of the bottom three against Liverpool, and then on Wednesday at 7, the Carling Cup semi-final second leg. It's 2-2, don't forget. It's Arsenal versus Tottenham, again on Sky Sports 1 and Sky Sports HD1.
I think Graham Wesley would be more than happy with 10 minutes to go if we'd have said that before the game. Would you like to be 1-0 up with 10 minutes to go? He wants to keep driving his players on, and you can feel another 3 points coming his way in front of a good performance by Rushden, and I have to say a poor performance by Oxford United.
If it stays this way, it will be something of a varsity double-double for Rushden and Diamonds. Wesley's first game in charge was an away win over Cambridge United. They beat Cambridge last week.
This was a poor late challenge, as didn't quite make the contact with Tomlin. If he had have done, I think it could have been more than a yellow card.
Yellow card for Andrew Gunn, an 18-year-old who's starting for Oxford for the first time this evening. Another appearance was on New Year's Day when he came on as a substitute at Exeter, and with Josh Kennett, another of the youngsters here at Oxford. Beardsley. Now Watson. Out by Johnson. Rushden prepared to work hard for their points. Clegg put under pressure there by Watson, who closed him down very quickly.
I think what's also been disappointing for Oxford United tonight is their creativity. Jim Smith talked before kick-off that they were still creating opportunities. Well, we haven't seen much of that tonight, and probably the man most likely to create for them, Andy Burgess, totally off form. Jim Smith will be aware of the fact that they haven't created much this evening.
Watson's cross. Watson again. Mills. Now Savage. Burgess has found Johnson. Here's Duffy. It's back with Johnson. Rose now limping heavily. It's his final game on loan from Manchester United. He's skipper of Manchester United's reserve team. Jim Smith using his extensive contacts book to get in touch with Sir Alec Ferguson to see if he could provide him with a midfield player who would provide both enthusiasm and maybe a little bit of energy in midfield. It's an arrangement that Oxford would like to extend, and given their current injury predicament, you can understand why.
Well, he's worked hard this evening, but it hasn't worked for him, Danny Rose. I think he's got used to playing in the conference now, Tony, and it's a complete, different way of playing football than it would be in Manchester United reserves team.
Ashton wasn't able to find Tomlin. Both teams have used all three substitutes now. Out by Hatzler. Rose still prepared to scrap. Anaclet. Udabadi.
Well, you'd have to say, Tony, they've got to keep going, they've got to keep pushing forward, Oxford. For all we say about the way they played this evening, only maybe one opportunity to get something out of the game, and possibly something they don't deserve.
Burgess. Maxwell's header.
Well, we've just seen a touch of Andy Burgess that we haven't seen the whole game. Shown his ability with the ball and able to get into terrific areas. Just haven't seen enough of it.
Burgess, who made more than 250 appearances for Rushden. There's a slip there by Ashton. And by Duffy. Anaclet's cross.
Well, again, it's poor, isn't it? The delivery into the box is not good enough. After working so hard to get into advanced areas, Anaclet's ball in, easily dealt with by the Rushden defenders.
You just wonder what he has to do to turn things around. His Oxford team, clear leaders of the conference during the early part of the season. They were still top going into the new year. They lost at Exeter City on New Year's Day. Began the campaign with 18 games undefeated. They've now gone 8 games without a win. They're looking at a 9-game run without a win. Driven in by Johnson. Udibari. Gilchrist. Anaclet. It's caught there by Watson.
Just invited the challenge, didn't he, Anaclet? It's a little bit of good fortune. Now can Andy Burgess deliver?
Oxford attacking the penalty area.
Yeah, Rushden very, very deep as well.
And by Burgess.
And Rushden doing what they've done well all evening, Tony, getting to the ball first, clearing their lines and pushing up.
Quinn. Driven in by Johnson. Helped out by Mills. Here's Tomlin. And as a substitute for the equally quick Simeon Jackson. A slow trickle of Oxford supporters to the exits. Now they're leaving in even greater numbers. Tomlin. it'll be a Rushden throw, but he hasn't seen that Andy Hindley, the referee, has awarded it to Oxford United. Beardsley. Now Mills. Here's Tomlin. Maybe a free kick this to Rushden. Anaclet's challenge.
Interesting one, this one for Rushden. Do they play it quickly? And that's what they've done.
It's with Cook. Can't get beyond Rose. Just look at that. 5 extra minutes we'd have at the end of the second half. The Oxford supporters have suddenly found their voices again. Udubadi! Tynan makes the save! And Duffy is following up, and Oxford still haven't got their equaliser.
Well, it's absolutely amazing how this hasn't gone into the back of the net. It's a good header initially. Good little layoff for shots, bang on target. Just struggling to get to the ball, but John Ashton, for some reason, the fullback jumps over the ball. He's got to clear it there, the 4. I don't think Duffy was expecting the opportunity. Why John Ashton didn't put it round the corner. Rob Duffy, well, that was his chance.
I just wonder if Ashton's movement unsettled Duffy.
Well, I don't think he was expecting it, Sir Tony, and you can understand that, but he's still got to get something on it from close range. Just to stab it goalwards, and he puts it wide.
Rob Duffy, who started his career with Rushden and Diamonds, should have got Oxford United's equaliser here. With 5 minutes of second half stoppage time.
Well, after the shot was missed, Jim Smith there so disappointed. Just can't believe his team can't score.
In his 40 years of management, you'd have thought he'd seen it all, but clearly not. Tomlin. Pushed it forward by Tardif. Johnson. Now Robinson. Johnson again. Anaclet. Burgess. Oxford force back. Rushden with everyone behind the ball now. Terrific header clear by Ashton. Johnson. Burgess still trying to find some guile. Oxford still trying to find a way through this Rushden defence. Udubadi. It's a terrific run this by Udubadi. Udubadi was trying to claim a penalty then, but his appeals were quickly waved away by Andy Hindley.
Well, I'm glad as well, because it was never a penalty. He's lost control of the ball. I think he's got to put it into the area. Udubadi decides to go on the dribble and loses control.
Ashton surging on. Kelly. A couple of goals for Marcus Kelly against Oxford United last season. Rushden and Diamonds looking for another double. They've defeated Cambridge United home and away. Now they're looking to defeat Oxford United home and away. Woodhouse scored their goal in the win at Nen Park. There's no left Rushden and Diamonds to pursue his professional boxing career once again. Chris Beardsley has got the goal this evening. Tomlin. Inside the 5th and final minute of second half stoppage time. Clever play that by Tomlin. He's entitled to take a breather. Rushden's job is almost done.
It seems like that's all he's done, Tomlin, in the last few minutes, isn't it? Run into the corner, waste time for Rushden and Diamonds, and to say, from an organisational side, they would deserve to win the game for me.
There was a chorus of boos at half-time, and the Oxford United supporters are leaving in disgust. Their team beaten again. That's 9 games now without a win for Oxford United. They're 9 points behind Dagenham and Redbridge, the leaders of the conference. But Rushden and Diamonds have achieved a 3rd successive win. Their season has been turned around by Graham Wesley. 1 goal was enough in the end, scored by Chris Beardsley, who was on target against Cambridge United in midweek last week. The Rushden supporters can celebrate a double over Oxford United. They won 1-0 at Nen Park, and they've won 1-0 here at the Kassam Stadium. It's finished Oxford United 0, Rushden and Diamonds 1.
Well, the boos around me are reserved for the home side here as they leave the field. The last unbeaten home record in the conference has gone, and the home faithful are giving the birds to the Bald Eagles side. This is how the table looks as a result of that. Rushden and Diamonds leap up from 20th to 15th, and the top half of the table is very much in sight for them now. As far as Oxford go, well, they stay where they are at the start of play, but of course that game in hand has disappeared, and the gulf to the leaders remains at 9 points.